Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am here with a rag quilt tutorial. Yay, finally! I've been wanting to do this for so long. Yes, my mother's TV is on and it is very loud. Loud to the point where it's bothering me. I don't know if it's going to bother you, but that's life in this house. She's 96, she's close to deaf, and the TV is blasting, and I'm not going to make her turn it down. We're going to let her watch TV. She won't wear headphones, just won't. So, here's the deal with the rag quilt. I have been promising you guys a rag quilt made from homespun cotton, which I have right here, and muslin. I'm going to talk about this muslin in a second. The homespun. I picked these colors not because I was thinking Christmassy, because it's red and green, but because that's all I had that gave me enough to make at least 2 sets to sell on eBay to whoever wants to make this exact quilt. I got it all ready for you, all the fabric that you need to make exactly what I am making. So these are the colors I went with. I'm also going to tell you exactly what you need if you want to make this same quilt. Now this muslin, and the homespun is 100% cotton, and it's supposed to be really good for ragging because it's a looser weave. I've never done it because, you know, I haven't made that many quilts ever in my life, and I never made one with the homespun, but I'm pretty sure it's going to rag beautifully. Now this muslin, I have purchased a lot of muslin in my sewing life, and I absolutely love this one the most. It is soft. This isn't washed, and it's soft. It's a good weight for quilting. It's especially nice to use for foundation piecing, but I like it for quilting just as is. It doesn't have to be used just as a foundation. This is unbleached with the seed specks. I'm going to show you up close. I love the little seed specks. I don't know if you'll be able to see them that good, but see, there they are. I just love it. It gives it such a nice rustic look, and it's going to be awesome with this homespun. These are all 10-inch squares. You're going to need 25 of the muslin or whatever you decide to use. You can just use any solid cotton or a small print, whatever. It's all up to you. 25 of these. Then you need to decide which color you want for the top of your quilt. In my case, we're going with the red, and that's what you're going to get if you buy the pre-cuts from me. You need 13 for the top. And then for the other side, which is going to be smooth, not ragged, you need 12. So you need 25 of your muslin, 13 for your top, and then 12 for the back side. Putting these together is going to be so easy. You're going to absolutely love it. You are going to take all your squares and you're going to put a piece of muslin on the table. And none of these have a right side. And since they're 10-inch squares, it doesn't matter which way you put it. Nothing could be easier. You're going to take the muslin, and then you're going to take one of the greens, or whatever is going to be your back of the quilt. Put it right on top. You know, try to get it as good as you can. But just remember, when you sew this, our seams are going to be snipped. So if something's a little bit longer, it doesn't matter. You don't have to trim. Everything's going to be snipped and ragged. So you put a muslin, your green or your back piece, another piece of muslin, and then whatever you've chosen for the top. And in my case, it's the red. Do that to all your squares. Make those sandwiches. Muslin green, muslin red. Easy as that. You will have one muslin and one red, or one of whatever your top is, because we have 13 of the red, 12 of the green, and we have 25 of the muslin. So there's an odd muslin, and then we have that odd leftover on the top. So you're going to have one little sandwich that's not a sandwich. It's just 2 pieces, muslin and red. We're just going to put this aside for later. We're going to take all our sandwiches double-decker sandwiches. We're going to take these to the machine, and I am taking you with me. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to sew down one edge, about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, or a little bigger if you want. Just remember, the bigger your seam allowance, the smaller the blocks get, but the more ragged it gets. So that's always cool. I actually have a line at my 5/8 of an inch, which is just a tiny bit over a 1/2 inch. So I'm using that. But you can set yourself up if you want a 1/2 inch. If you don't have a good line, you can put like a long piece of tape or something, whatever works for you. We're just going to sew. And seriously, don't stress if your fabric shifted. You can put a couple pins if you want, but this isn't, too shifty. It's, pretty good. You can also use a walking foot if that helps you. I just like to just sew. I'm good with it. But if it shifts, again, like I said, don't worry because this is all going to be snipped anyway. So here comes the best part. We are going to snip as we go. I hate the snipping process, and I thought I'm going to just snip this as I go. I actually tried it, and I discovered that snipping before we join actually makes for better intersections. I'll show you that step when we get there. Now I have these cheapy little things that I got in like the tool department, not in the crafting section. It's just scissors with a spring, which is very helpful, but you can use regular scissors. And don't go out and buy special scissors for snipping until you really find out if you like making rag quilts. And this is just, homespun and muslin. Very easy to clip through. Now, here's what I'm going to suggest. When you start snipping, snip a couple snips kind of close to each other near the corner, because when we come back, when we join these things, we're going to be able to sew between the snipped pieces, and there won't be any pieces laying down at that intersection. Those of you who have made rag quilts, you know what I mean. There's always a part that's sewn down, and we have to snip like on both sides of it, and there can be a piece that is still just sewn to the fabric. We can avoid that. So just make a few snips close by so that you have a nice space to go through no matter where your needle happens to be. And then just snip a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be even. You can snip narrow pieces. You can snip wider some places. You just want to snip kind of close to your seam, but not, you don't want to cut it. You just don't want to cut it. And if you do, don't worry. Just go in and sew again a little bit to the left side of your seam, because then you'll just create a new one. And down here too, I'm going to snip a bunch of little narrow strips. We're done that one. Do that to all the sandwiches that you made, not to that oddball one that just had the red and the muslin, but to all these stacks of 4. Do that to one side and snip as you go. Once you have those all done, we are going to create a 4 patch. You can create just rows if you want. I like to work in 4 patches. This whole quilt is not made with just 4 patches because we have an odd number. So we're going to make 4 big 4 patches, and then we're going to add to some of those. So you're going to open this up. This is the ragged side, what we just snipped. Put that upside down. Now take another one, and you want the rag part sticking up. So what it's going to look like is you're going to have this side, your red is down, the rags is down. On this side, the rags are sticking up, the ragged part, and you're going to be putting your red checkerboard, your red homespun, on top of the green homespun. I know that might look weird, but it's going to work, I promise you. You're going to turn it either way, and we're going to be sewing on one edge, and then when we open this up, it's going to create our checkerboard. I'll just show you when we're done sewing it. So I'm going to start sewing, and then I'll explain to you when we get here how we're going to handle the intersection. Okay, I'm coming up to my intersection, and I am sewing a pretty big seam, so I just want to see where my needle is going to be coming. It's going to be like passing right there. And I'm going to try to get that to go into a space on the bottom too. It might not, but we're going to do the best we can. So I just have them nesting on the bottom. The little frayed ends are coming toward me. On the top, they're going away from me. And I'm just going to try to get my needle, at least on the top, to go between two of those snipped pieces. I'm just like spreading them apart. And again, I can't really control that on the bottom. I didn't really think about that, but maybe we'll get lucky. Now I have shifted here a little bit, and I'm not going to worry about it because I told you not to worry about it. You're allowed to worry about it. Now let's open this up, and you can see that we have our checkerboard happening on this side and on this side. And we are going to snip all this. Oh, let's see how we did with the intersection. I can't remember which side was the top. But see, I don't have any fabric here on this side laying down. Oh, I do on this side. Okay, this is what I mean. See, we sew and a piece gets caught. How unfortunate that I had to catch that little tiny thing. But you know what? It's okay, because when it's all ragged, that covers up. But when we don't snip first, that happens everywhere. And we just live with it. So I still like snipping as I go. It just makes it go by so much quicker. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to snip very close together near my corner. And then maybe every quarter or half inch all the rest of the way. When you get to the intersection, you just can move your other cut part, aside and just keep snipping. Sometimes you do snip something right off. That's okay. So we are done one of our 4 patches. Make 4 of these. Once you make your 4 patches, you're going to have 4 of these sandwiches left. And all you're going to do for these is just sew down one edge. We're not going to create a 4 patch. So I will show you what I mean. Now we're done with those. And I've decided I'm going to stop here for this episode because I need the table and daylight to be able to show you the next step of how we're putting this together. So I will be back with the final episode, just going to be 2 episodes, tomorrow, because I also have to wash this and show you the final product. So we will finish making it tomorrow, and then I will wash it quickly and dry it, and then I will show you the finished rag quilt. So excited. I hope it comes out good, because I've already committed now to episode 1. I will have to come back with episode 2 no matter what happens. I mean, I'm sure it'll come out good unless, some tragic thing happens, like my washing machine eats it up or something weird like that. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, which is coming right around the corner. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!